Right now at 10, candles for an incurable disease.
It's not a death sentence by any means, but it has definitely altered and changed my life.
26 years after Hawaii's first AIDS diagnosis, a new push to get people tested.
Remembering the red ribbons. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Lau.
And I'm Keahi Tucker. Those red ribbons all around the world today remind people that AIDS continues to take lives. On this World AIDS Day, even the White House was showing its support with a big red bow hanging out front. The Empire State Building and Seattle Space Needle also marked the day. Despite much progress fighting the disease, it's estimated some 200,000 Americans are infected with HIV and don't even know it. Hawaii is doing its part, urging people to get tested. Mariella David's back from tonight's event in Honolulu with more.
Keahi, in Hawaii alone, health experts say about 3,000 islanders are living with HIV or AIDS. The death toll has dropped, but there's a side effect. Advocates say the problem now is complacency. A ceremony to revive the fight against AIDS and a vigil to remember those who've lost their lives to the disease. Here at Church of the Crossroads, this memorial in honor of World AIDS Day in Honolulu hits home for Kintaro Yonekura of Kaimuki. For 17 years, he lived a life of drugs, alcohol, and risky behavior. In 2003, he found out he was infected with HIV.
I was either going to end up dead, or I was going to end up in jail.
Yonekura picked choice number 3, get help and get clean. Today, he's sober and a volunteer with the Life Foundation. The agency raises awareness about HIV and AIDS and helps survivors. Executive Director Paul Brosbeck says when he first started 18 years ago, 100 islanders died of the disease every year.
A number of people I knew in the early going died of AIDS. All of a sudden, back then it was always a big surprise and it happened very quickly.
Now, Brosbeck says the death toll is down to 15 per year, and more Asian and Native Hawaiians are now infected.
During my time at the Life Foundation, the number of social service clients we have has gone from about 85% Caucasian to 40%.
And though deaths are down, he says the problem is people think the disease is no longer a threat. Those red ribbons, Brosbeck says, we hardly see them anymore, except on days like today. The Life Foundation is determined to keep the fight going, spreading the word that there's no shame in getting help. Yonekura would know.
It doesn't have to be who you are. It doesn't have to define you, but it is something that you can live with and help manage.
The disease was first diagnosed in Hawaii in 1984. The Life Foundation says 5 islanders died of AIDS this past August alone. Mariella David, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Mari. And just this week, scientists reported a promising new medication to reduce the risk of HIV transmission, but it's still in development and there's still no cure. For now, health experts say early detection is key. At least 1 in 3 Americans who test positive for HIV is tested too late to get the full advantage of treatment. They say more than half of Americans aged 18 to 64 have never been tested for HIV.